Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the
Wow.
Wade and Carter Show. Ash, Brent, Commander here on a, once again, chilly Thursday morning. Post-Caldo Thursday. Bobby Leister.
First one in, Mark Kurtz and Rena Shear. Good morning, Rena. Rena sent out a birthday wish this morning to their son, Brad. And I put on there, I don't know which is more impressive, that Rena was up at 5:15 to wish her kid, her grown kid, a happy birthday, or the fact that I was about the fifth person to comment on it at 6 o'clock. That's amazing. You people that are up, no doubt you're listening to Wade and Carter. That's the place to be. Nobody sane questions that. 35 degrees in Victoria, Texas, under mostly cloudy skies. The weather brought to you every day by the great folks at AT Deerland Feed. For everything you need, there's Deerland Feed. By the way, cleaned out the garage last weekend, Ash, and found a backup red funnel. Still has the big yellow price tag on it, the one that's yellow on the top and white on the bottom, says 0.99.
Nice.
Still the way to be. Heading to a high today of 70, partly cloudy all day long.
Oops, I had this scrolled down. Scott Tomko was the first one in this morning, not Bobby.
That's fine. And Scott, welcome in as always, brother. Did he point out that he was the first one? You just corrected myself. Very rare error.
Yeah. Justin Glass checking in. Marvin Mickish, good morning. Pat Strauss. Michelle
Hello, P.
Hawkins,
Strauss.
Micah Patton, Mark Cepeda, Greg Garcia, Tammy Keeling, Jordan Glass, Heather Stewart, Daniel Wade White, Tommy Kingston, Linda Christ, Micah, 361-894-4020. How did the VISD forum go yesterday with this? If it works.
I want to tell you that I'm going to give you the feedback that I got. I wasn't able to attend, so just take the feedback with a grain of salt. The feedback I got, Ash, was that the dollar amount is big enough and the hammering down to exactly how it's going to be spent isn't specific enough. Now, granted, we're still in the formative stages of this bond, and the person I spoke with did not say they were against the bond at all. They just said, when you want $237 million, don't tell me 85 of it is for general upgrades. That's not going to work for me. I need to know that 45,000 is going to fix the roof at Cade Middle School. 125,000 is going to fix the chiller station at Victoria East. I mean, now, I'm just telling you what I was told. I'm not telling you. Many of you may go, oh, come on. We can look at the overview, and that's fine. I'm just saying, if I come to you with a specific need, it's more likely. You and I are a 50-50 partnership on this show, a show that has no money. But if I come to you and go, I need $200 to do a promotional deal, my gut, my experience says the first thing you're going to ask me is, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You buying T-shirts? Are you buying a billboard? What are you going to do with that money? It's not that you're saying no. You're just saying,
I want accountability from you.
Absolutely. And we are partners with the school district, a district that I do believe absolutely needs the money.
And how much is this a hangover from the last bond when things didn't get built, when they split the two high schools and costs got cut and the gyms were too small? They
cut the wrong things, right? I mean, they cut the wrong things. I'll tell you that.
And that's part of the problem. Maybe and I don't know, maybe this includes that cost escalation, because by the time you vote on the bond, you issue the bonds, that 237 in reality buys you about 230 million, and you got 7 million that you're having to cut out of projects that you told the public you were going to pay for. So do you say, okay, we need 237 because
we're trying to get 230.
We're trying to get 230 or build 230. Right. Yeah.
But I do believe, and you have to
hedge against that.
You have to also squint. And this is what I like about the fact that we have a new superintendent. We have a new school board. You have to squint to overlook what no doubt has been, in its best form, neglect by the district. Certainly a lack of commitment to spending M&O money on the big issues. I know for a fact, like right behind my home is Shalimar Elementary, and if somebody takes a shower in Terra Vista, the roof at Shalimar leaks. Everybody knows it. They know it's raining. Go get the buckets. That's just not right. These are not huge fixes. Fix the roof. And there's people, honestly, there's people sitting around at VISD, get the hot tar, get the mop, go up there, find where the water goes in, and fix the roof. I'm not asking you to put down a
tough as nails polyurethane coat that won't crack, stick, peel, or fade.
We don't have to call USA Concrete Coatings and Roofing for this.
Maybe we should.
578 Home. We don't have to do that. Fix the roof. $237 million is a lot of dang money. And you know what? If you go from 237 to 238, that extra million is a lot of money. Junior,
catch up, man. I'm just saying that you're confusing my.
But when you're going to build new high schools, generational high schools, we got rid of Stroman, we got rid of Victoria High, and we built athletic facilities that make it prohibitive to have a tournament. We don't really have a guest visiting team adequate locker space.
They didn't have enough gym space for all of the use.
That's right.
At the two high schools when they opened, because it was my understanding from talking to folks at that time that was one of the things they cut.
They had to cut.
When they had to cut,
Yeah.
I would have thought all that wasted airspace above the library.
Well, no doubt. No doubt. The library is 5 times too big.
And it might have been a good place to go.
Isn't that ironic that you and I are saying, oh, let's get rid of the library and build a new stadium? I'm not trying to be short-sighted.
I'm just saying they're heating and cooling a lot of airspace at East and West that is wasted space. That's what I'm saying.
That also makes the library louder.
Ellie Glass, happy 6th birthday. She's listening today.
There you
go.
No
pressure.
Yeah.
Jack Droggett, good morning.
Hey,
Torrin Bales checking in. Sherry Jacobs, Ryan Hopping. Greg Garcia says not many people are willing to give the school district a blank check. The trust factor just isn't there.
I'll tell you it should be now. I do believe the trust factor should be there, and they need the money. I like Micah Patton. I trust Micah Patton. He runs a small business. He makes a payroll. He's not just throwing money around willy-nilly.
Ditto with BJ Nelson.
Absolutely.
I think you've got some people that
solid people that know how to run a business
and weren't happy with the way things were in the status quo and got involved and put their time and effort and commitment and money into running for election, got elected, and now they're serving. And I think,
There's Jackie Parsons checking in. We've already mentioned the weather, 35 to 70.
It'll be a nice day.
She's over there running AT Deerland Feed. Hey, Jason.
Good morning, Jason.
The meat man.
Glad you're all in. Let's see. What time is it? We're not there yet. Not time for a break. Where else can we go? Anybody else feeling that the whole Ilhan Omar apple cider vinegar attack is just Jussie Smollett?
Yeah, it was staged.
3.0. This thing.
She didn't even flinch.
She looked towards the guy twice in her speeches like,
do it now.
Do it now. Come on. Do it now.
Nondescript human being walked up with a syringe, no needle, and just squirted her like
in the chest.
Right in the chest.
Yeah.
And I thought at the time, honestly, I watched her and she didn't flinch. And then she went at the guy. This is just not a normal response for
No.
somebody who, by the way, doesn't know if they were just squirted with
anthrax,
or if they were squirted with acid. It turns out, by the way, nobody could identify what the liquid was. How many things in the world smell like apple cider vinegar besides, apple cider vinegar?
Zero. None.
But she was sprayed with a tube full of apple cider vinegar, and the guy didn't even spray her in the face. And she immediately went at him, and then she immediately said, this press conference will go on.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of
Teddy Roosevelt getting shot and continuing.
Even worse, it reminded me more of when the left condemned Donald Trump for his fight, as that had to be staged.
Yeah.
Ilhan Omar's situation was staged. And I don't think there's even a chance that was like some.
No.
And how did that guy get in there? There was security everywhere, and everybody in the room was in the media except this one fool who, by the way, he's a bad guy, should be arrested.
Well, if he's really a bad guy, if he wasn't paid by the left to take the fall
there's
and
a
to do
chance.
this, because we all know that half of the stuff going on and all of the stuff going on in Minneapolis right now is being funded by
the left or Soros.
Agitators,
sure.
Those that do this. And this is just, I'm convinced this is just another guy that was paid to do what he had to do to continue the leftist brainwashing of the simpletons that follow them into believing that everything Donald Trump does is bad.
Oh.
I mean, and we're going to get to this, the Trump accounts. I'm not putting my money. I don't want my kid to get that money. Bull crap. You want everybody else to get the government's money.
That's right.
Why not this?
Yeah. Greg Garcia says, Omar looked directly at him like she was giving him his cue. There's no denying it. She's the new Jussie Smollett. Now, if you go up one click, you'll also see another comment worth reading that says, Andrew Alvarez says, her security team should have swept her away and stripped her clothes off to remove the chemicals that were sprayed upon her, but they didn't. They didn't. The guy goes, are you okay? Like he checked her little Habib there, make sure she was okay.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, no, exactly. This thing was, there was nothing.
No, that guy won't be in jail for long. No. By the way, somebody who didn't go to jail, Alex Pretty, now new video evidence coming out showing Alex Pretty. It's so funny. There's a video on X, Twitter, of what's Pocahontas? What's that fake?
Oh, Elizabeth Warren.
Elizabeth Warren, such a cartoon character of herself and trying so desperately to remain relevant.
Did she actually do that, or did somebody AI that altogether?
No, they AI'd the video underneath her voice, but she was on there saying he didn't deserve to die. He was a continuous giver. He was just a sweetheart of a person. And underneath that, they show a video of one of his other altercations with ICE agents where he spits upon an ICE agent who's in a Ford Expedition, which, by the way, the ICE agent just wipes away, and he's in the back, and he kicks the taillight out of the car, and they finally get out and put hands on him and shove him back onto the sidewalk. But, Ash, they let him go. Yeah. They didn't even arrest him. He did damage to
federal
property. No arrest. Nobody punched him. Nobody pulled a weapon on him. There weren't 5 guys wrestling him to the ground.
So this couldn't have been the altercation in which he broke a rib because there was nothing.
There's another one where he ended up with a broken rib. And then there's the one where he finally found out. I have no problem with that guy getting capped. Now, his individual act that got him shot was not punishable by the death penalty, but for folks to scream that this guy was assassinated, executed, is absurd. This guy was interfering still, undeniably, in a lawful police activity. This guy was endangering himself, secondly, and much more importantly, endangering law enforcement officers. You put your hands on a cop, you're probably not going to get your hand slapped. You're probably going to get your skull cracked. And amen to that. As a civilized people, we have given certain authorities to our law enforcement people, most importantly, the ability to apply and uphold the law. If you don't like the law, call Michael Cloud. If you don't like the law, stay home, out of the way. Don't expose yourself to it. I want to give a compliment to our listener base. I don't agree with some of you on everything, and some of you I rarely agree with at all. But at least you've armed yourself with education. You cannot feel your way through politics. You have to think your way through politics. That's why one word comments and to say disagree, rude, whatever, that's why those things don't stack up. They don't carry any weight. It's like if I just said no to every time you and I disagree. No. That's me having nothing else to say.
And the fact he kicked in a taillight, then apparently got roughed up enough to have a broken rib. This is a guy, to me,
who lost his job. They portrayed
No,
him
he
as just
didn't. I just fact checked.
No, he did have his job still?
Yeah, still had his job. It's been rumored that he either quit or didn't lose his job. But to me, this is a guy who clearly has succumbed to the brainwashing of the media and the Democrats, and to me, becomes mentally unhinged.
He was.
He's lashing out at police officers, law enforcement, federal law enforcement, who are constitutionally carrying out the executive branch's authority to enforce immigration law.
Agree. Heather Stewart says maybe not arresting him was a mistake. It made him bolder. I think that part of the problem is that people have not been arrested and had to face the consequences for other protest-related crimes. Well, here's the problem, though, Heather. I agree with you 100%. But here's the problem.
Maybe if he was in jail, he'd still be alive.
You do that in Victoria, Texas, you're getting arrested. You do that in Minnesota, where they're paying literally hundreds of people to show up and stir up problems. You can't arrest them all. And that's what
but they don't arrest anybody. They don't arrest the Somalis who are defrauding the government. Nothing. They don't arrest anybody up there.
That's right. Linda Chris echoes. He was there to cause trouble. Peaceful was not on his mind.
He's dead and he can't defend himself, but you know what? This is a guy who was mad enough to spit on an ICE agent. 5 years ago, we would have accused him of spreading COVID.
Yeah.
By the way, he should have known better because he's a nurse. There we go. This is a guy who's spitting on people. He should know the dangers of spitting on people as an ICU nurse.
Not to mention,
who knows what virus he's carrying?
5 years ago, the left was all about masks. Everybody should be wearing a mask. We'll come in your home if you're not wearing a mask. You should wear a mask at home alone. But now it's freezing cold in Minnesota, and an ICE agent has his face covered because the unhinged left will follow him home at the request of their congresspeople.
And not only that, I mean, cold air in your lungs isn't good.
But that means
exposed flesh can
succumb to Trump's fascist Gestapo people. It's the dumbest thing ever. It's just a lack. That is actually the dumbest argument the left makes, is that these are fascist Gestapo, secret police. It's just the unhinged left. The unhinged liberal woman will be the downfall of this country. Yes, I'm all for women voting. Yes, I'm all for women being heard and understood. But the uneducated, the ladies in our audience, 100% are armed with the facts. Number one, they listen to our program, so they get the facts. But number two, they make educated arguments. Even when I don't agree with them, they are people that I respect. There are people like whatever her Good, Miss Good. She was just the unhinged progressive female who thinks that every illegal alien needs to be nurtured and loved and not deported.
Oh, and I'm sure she blamed Trump and government for her plight in life too.
Oh yeah. And Barack Obama vehemently disagrees with her. That's the whole point. If the same laws are being applied, the same methods are being employed to remove these people, if the left thinks that it was a travesty of justice in Minnesota now, why wasn't it a travesty of justice in other states at other times? No protests from the left. This is when you have to say, maybe the left is unhinged for an ulterior motive.
I'm convinced this guy was
a plant.
I think he kicked the taillight in. He got his rib broken. I think he was mad at ICE.
He was going to extract
I think
revenge
I think at some point he was going to try to do something. No reports of him carrying a gun the other 2 times he interviewed.
No, in fact, we watched him take off his coat and was like, "Come on, let's go," to ICE. Really a dumb move.
That was the other thing in that one. That's the guy who got his ass kicked at a bar fight with, when you get thrown out of the bar for pushing a guy in the bar, then it spills out into the street or the alley and the fight ensues.
And you're beat to a pulp.
You're beat to a pulp when the guy finally says, "Okay, you've had enough. I'm going back in, or I'm out of here."
He's laying in the dirt. Come on, man.
Come on. He gets back up, but he's Glass Joe from that boxing game back.
We
in
know
the 80s.
that. We know that guy.
Yeah. No.
Linda Chris says you really should amend that to say you should say the unhinged left college graduate liberal woman, because that woman was probably radicalized.
I don't think Renee Good was radicalized in college. You can be educated elsewhere, but this goes back even further. This goes into your grade school education.
You'll notice that the very people, whether they be what's that Maxine Waters or AOC or even Ilhan Omar, these people that challenge you to prove your love for America by interfering and injecting yourself into places you have no business, you will notice you never, ever see them there. At least Martin Luther King led the march across the bridge, right? Ilhan Omar and AOC are not out there challenging ICE. Bernie Sanders.
Ilhan Omar has a press conference and stages an attack on herself.
Absolutely. The whole thing. And look, I'm just saying, arm yourself with reality, read and understand the facts. And if you really believe that this Alex Preddy was just a victim, you're not looking at his body of work. I'm not saying he was a paid protester. I'm
not saying he deserved to die.
I'm not either. But he certainly did not deserve to be where he was, carrying a weapon and multiple magazines, and then wondering why he got his ass kicked.
Because this nation as a whole, and it's more pervasive in some states than others, has decided that criminals, repeat offenders, can be rehabilitated, can turn their lives around, because once in a while it happens, but the majority of times it doesn't. We just had a huge drug bust in this city 2 days ago. The youngest person was 36 years old. I would bet most of them, if not all of them, I think there were 7 or 8 of them that were arrested, all had previous run-ins with the law.
Yeah.
I bet they all had rap sheets. One guy was 43 years old. I thought he was 60.
Yeah.
But because we go soft on these folks and we give them multiple chances, you've listened to Marnie Conrad on this show talk about the kid that killed her son.
Had no business being back on the street.
They knew he was a violent repeat offender. They gave him home monitoring with an ankle bracelet that he cut off a week or 10 days before he killed Matthias. Matthias, and there was nobody monitoring his ankle monitor.
Yeah, you put him on it, but nobody monitors.
Yeah.
Go back up. There's a couple of great comments. Scott, was it Scott Snow says, hey, another avenue played a video of him tangoing with ICE weeks before, and he had a gun on him then. They even circled the gun.
They didn't kill him then because he had a gun. But here's the thing. He has the right to carry that gun.
Yeah, that's fine, but he doesn't have a right to be where he is. That's
none of those protesters, because it's actually, you know what? The rioters. They're interfering with law enforcement. This is no longer peaceful protesting. They're interfering. If I'm a Minnesota resident, I'm trying to get down the street to go to work, and they're blocking that. They're impeding my rights.
I'm going to give him the same non-contact that Ms. Good gave to that ICE agent. Have you seen the video where it's absolutely apparent that he was hit by the vehicle? Very interesting. Yeah. Linda Chris says, I have a feeling that I missed the fact that he had a gun the first time, and then they went back, saw the video, and realized that, hey, he has a gun. So when they met up with him the second time, they knew. I don't think they knew who he was.
I don't think they knew who he was. There's so many ICE agents there, and there's so many operations, and there's so many of these agitators and paid rioters going around. They had no clue who the guy was at that time.
No, and the thing is, it's not like there's a peaceful protest, normal people holding a sign, and then there's this one lunatic. That's not the case.
There are
lunatics everywhere impeding, and there's absolutely nothing to stop somebody from blending in with the lunatics and walking up and shooting an ICE agent in the head. And if we lose one ICE agent who's lawfully executing a warrant to arrest someone, that is a huge tragedy. We don't lose law enforcement people over lawless people. It's just not the way it should be. Do we want to take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break.
Love to welcome you folks into the Atzenhofer studio. We're going to revisit something we used to do all the time.
There it is, folks.
And we're going to call this segment for now the T. Latzenhofer Deal of the Week. Dawn Nicole, T-Lat, told me, hey, you guys used to do a really fun thing called the Atzenhofer Deal of the Week. And what we noticed was, with really, honestly, you consistently pointed out a vehicle. We're not taking credit that it's sold because of our pointing it out. We're saying that consistently you identified a great deal, and that car was gone within the week. Tell us about this.
Well, this is a 2024 Encore. Buick Encore GX. Nice little vehicle, under $20,000. It's a 2024.
That's amazing what you just said. It's a 2024 model. It's a Buick. So you can service it at Atzenhofer, no problem. American-made car. For how much?
Under $19,000.
That's
a
amazing.
List price. Yeah.
If it starts, it's worth $19,000.
If you're looking for a car it's only a year and a half old,
right? 26s are out. I mean,
you're looking for something for a college student, a high school student, just learn to drive. These are nice vehicles.
Because nothing screams, I'm here to party, like a Buick.
That's exactly why you get it for your kid.
That's what I'm talking about.
Sister-in-law have one. They actually have a lot of cargo room in them. So if they play sports, it's great. This one's in beautiful Cinnabar metallic.
They call that maroon in other places. Yeah. If you've got a young kid that's getting ready to go off to College Station, send them there in a Buick.
Yeah, very fuel efficient, 4-liter turbocharged engine. You'll get about 30 miles to the gallon according to the estimates.
I may buy that car.
Yeah, black interior,
$19,000.
nice little vehicle. Keyless entry, keyless ignition. Let's see what other features it has. Emergency brake assist, blind spot monitoring, forward collision warning.
You can lose your key and still drive.
Yep. Cruise control, satellite radios, part of the deal if you wanted to do that as well. Folding rear seats, so you can get a little bit more in there.
Get your hockey gear in there.
You could get your hockey gear in there and your hockey sticks. Yeah. So there you go. Nice little vehicle. Man, that's
amazing. Yep, those deals do still exist. That car arguably still has factory warranty on it.
Yeah.
Wow. Under $20,000. a 24 Buick Encore. We joke about it, but it's probably on the same platform as like a Chevy Blazer. I mean, it's all a GMC, whatever you call it, the mini Yukon. That is a nice looking little car. And Atzenhofer, being a South Texas tradition for over 100 years, we absolutely support that vehicle being the T. Latzenhofer deal of the week.
Now it's time for the disclaimer. No guarantees this car will still be available when the doors open today.
Past performance does not equal future promises.
There you go.
Veracruz Restaurant, the day after Caldo Wednesday is called Post Caldo Wednesday Thursday. Today's a great day to get in and indulge yourself in a drowning enchilada. They're going to take a burrito-looking thing, fill it full of meat and beans and stuff, and they're going to cover it up with queso and bring it out to you. It is a true experience of a meal.
It's really good.
It is fantastic. It is good for you.
And it'll warm the cockles.
Allen's Wrecker Service. Keep your cockles to yourself. 578-6300. Let Allen's help you get your vehicle where it needs to be. At Allen's Wrecker Service, can you get that card out here? You read that while I read this.
Oh, do I have to?
Yeah, I want you to. Don't read it out loud. Just peruse.
Okay.
Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. The chopping block. We're after Wacky Wing Wednesday, but we still go in there and buy lots and lots of ground chuck. The hamburger meat, if you will. Too simple to call it hamburger meat. But the hamburger meat does not shrink. It's beautiful. It's like polyester hamburger meat. It's wrinkle-free. Just pop it right out of the fryer. No, it is fantastic, fantastic ground chuck, ground fresh at the chopping block. White Trash Services, encouraging you to come in and lock in your pricing. You make a 1-year service agreement or a 2-year service agreement, your pricing's locked in for that period of time. $25 for the 1 year, $50 for the 2 year to your local volunteer fire department. Then if you do a 3-year deal, they'll still lock you in for the first 2 years. Can't guarantee the 3rd year pricing, but you still got to have trash pickup. It's not like it's going to spike. And then they'll give $100 to your local volunteer fire department.
We missed this. I was a little slow because I was reading that, but shrimp and crawfish boudin is back at. Yeah, if you haven't tried this one, you think the barbacoa is good. If you like shrimp and crawfish, this one kicks it up a notch.
Who does he sound like, Cody? Hey, kids, you like that barbacoa? Get in there for the shrimp and come on now. What are you doing?
Casey Kasem? I don't know. Who is it? Tell us.
I don't know. I can't. I was trying. Really,
I don't know.
Until then, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
Jordan Glass asks, isn't there going to be an ice protest in Victoria?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure if there is, it'll be at the Patty Dotson, and you can go by and see other geniuses circled around, huddled around, people like Jewel Buchanan who don't know, peas from carrots. Go by and see. That is the unhinged, liberal, I'll go a step further, liberal white woman will be the downfall of Western civilization. They just feel their way everywhere except the kitchen. And that's the problem. Plus, if they cook, it's bland. It's bland. But see, if you say that, you're misogynistic, you're sexist. I'm not saying that at all. We have women on this show that I don't agree with quite often, but they're educated. They can support their arguments. They may be wrong, but they're not ignorant. The left in general, if you honestly ask the average progressive liberal white woman what she believes, at some point she wants to know what Donald Trump believes so she can believe the opposite. And that's the truth. It's not critical thinking.
I listened to a streeter, which is, what they used to call the man on the street asking people questions at UCLA. They were asking UCLA students about slavery. They all believe slavery began in the United States.
Yeah, in the 1700s.
They had no clue because this is what they're taught. This is what they're taught.
And in their minds,
and that the white man is the only one that came
Yeah.
and conquered lands
Come on.
because, the Cherokees didn't steal, rape, and pillage from other tribes.
well, that's what's interesting, that the Comanche didn't steal it from the Apache.
Yeah.
I mean, forever, men have been conquering land and taking it over. Sadly, I think maybe with no guilt.
Some women as well. There have been women leaders that have done the same.
Absolutely. But when you look back, the fact that
But we don't teach the facts. We're teaching people that only America was involved in the slave trade and America is bad. America's done some bad things. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. America's done some bad things, but so has everybody. You don't think England did? England was cutting deals with the Nazis. You have any doubt?
The New York Times thought Hitler was a great guy. Time magazine gave him Man of the Year.
Absolutely. They are wrong. Things change. Andrew Elver says it's awful. AWFL. Affluent white female liberals. Awful.
Feels like we're missing a letter there.
We are.
Okay.
But you can't say that they're ugly. So you can't throw the U in there for ugly.
Some of them are.
Unhinged,
Unattractive, unhinged,
Untethered. Like, I got you words. Right?
untethered.
Untethered might be better than unhinged. Unhinged is what you're seeing in Minneapolis right now.
Yeah.
From everybody there that's disrupting. There's the constitutional. There's the violation of the Constitution, is what's going on with the protesters and the rioters. I'm going to stop calling them protesters because they're not. They're rioting and they're impeding law enforcement. They're aiding and abetting criminals. They're protecting pedophiles. They're protecting murderers. They're protecting rapists, as we pointed out the other day on this show. 77% of those removed are sitting in local jails or other lockups. They're already the worst of the worst, and they're not there. You don't get in a local jail because you violated immigration crimes or because you're here illegally. You're in a local jail because you committed a crime, probably a serious misdemeanor, if not a felony.
Right.
And you're awaiting trial, or you've been found guilty and that's your sentence. They're in lockups for what they've done in this country after they got here illegally. 77% of them are being picked up in these lockups. These are not the best of the best, folks.
No, these are bad people. They're not people just trying to find a better life. Go back up. T-Lat says that she goes, I made 2 comments and I was ignored. I just don't believe it. Dawn is pointing out that you can go see our son Caden on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at the chopping block. And he was one of the ones that said, man, the other day they put some of that seafood boudin into an air fryer. And he said, I snuck a sample. He goes, and I'm not even usually a seafood guy. He goes, it's amazing. Her other comment was, I did see it earlier and I pointed it out. She said, just obey the law. But there's so many comments, and thank you for them. They move so quickly. It's hard to keep up. Yeah. Donnie, do note that we called it the T. Latzenhofer deal of the week. And that may not stick. That may just be a one-day deal.
Yep. Meanwhile, the 2 federal agents who allegedly shot Alex Preddy placed on administrative leave.
No, they shot him. I saw it. It was on video.
Well, did both shoot him or one?
I don't know.
I thought it was just one. But
I think
anyway,
they shot like 9 shots.
Anyway, they've been placed on leave.
Yeah, which is normal. You're placed on leave till they declare that it was a righteous shooting, and they will. There's no getting around. There is nobody of any substance who, we may all agree that it's a tragedy that someone had to die, but there's absolutely nothing illegal about what the officers did. They were absolutely within their rights to do what they did, and nobody that I've read anywhere, even people that are grossly against the ICE raids, have said, well, unfortunately.
Did they maybe did the one who did they maybe panic? Maybe, but here's the thing. Everybody viewing this is viewing it in slow motion,
sure,
from the comfort and safety of their sofas and living rooms, kitchen tables, on their phones.
The guy's laying on his back on the road, and if he reaches in and grabs a pistol and it discharges and it hits an innocent bystander, they're going to blame ICE. If it hits an ICE agent in his cockles, that's going to be a problem too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you show up and inject yourself into an ongoing police action and you get shot, don't blame the officers.
No, here's the problem in this country again. Because we let criminals out, and I heard a stat this morning, like 1/3 of all shoplifting in New York City last year committed by 327 people.
327 people, many of whom have been arrested 40, 50 times. It's amazing.
Because we've stopped holding people accountable for their actions and we blame society and everybody else.
Yeah.
Alex Preddy's actions that day led to where he ended up.
That's right.
And if he doesn't go there, he's still alive to serve his next shift to the VA hospital.
And the left wants him to be a martyr, whereas I just think he's an idiot. There's the difference.
Standing up for, and here's the other narrative in this whole thing that's getting lost and nobody's pointing out. Oh, he was just standing up for a woman that got pushed down by ICE, who also went and interfered with ICE. They didn't just walk up to her and shove her because she was standing on the sidewalk.
I saw a meme that was it was AI generated, and it showed a real picture of him. And I don't know if you've seen it. He looks like Bradley Cooper in the videos if you're not careful. But in reality, he had kind of a scraggly beard, and he's very Arab. It turns out he is Jewish, and he's very Arab looking. And so it said, here's the way he really looks. Here's the way he looks after AI cleaned him up for television, which is true. I've seen the picture on the right. His nose is thinner. His beard is more neatly cropped. It said, and here's the way he will look when the documentary comes out. And they just made him a black man. So that he'll be a black man when the documentary comes out so that we can. Why isn't somebody building a statue to this guy? I mean, he was equally as productive as George Floyd. Why not build him a statue?
No, it's coming.
Yeah.
Hey, Gilbert Glenn Jr. in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Hi,
Good
folks.
morning. Glad you're here.
I love hearing from you folks when you're out of state. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's fantastic. So there you have it. Did you see, we just mentioned the rates hold, the dollar wobbles. Yeah, interest rates are held steady at 3.5 to 3.75%. People don't love that.
Stock markets didn't move. Dollar rebounded a little bit, but did hit a four-year low earlier this year. And I know it moves on the rates, but this all goes back to all of the government overspending.
Yeah. It's been going on forever. It's not just Trump.
No.
I do want to point out that one thing that could plummet Western civilization is the fact that our dollar is propped up. It is propped up by just printing more of them and putting them into circulation. But Europe is also broke, and there's no place to rally. If I gave you $1 million and said, go invest it in a foreign currency, you would go, no. Where? Which one would you invest in?
Bitcoin.
Right, because that's the epitome.
Yeah, because Bitcoin hasn't cratered this year
That's
at all.
the ultimate fake currency, the Bitcoin.
Gold and silver is up. They're saying silver could hit 1,000. Crazy.
I think now's the time to hawk all your James Avery stuff. Traditionally,
gonna go buy more Silver Eagles.
Traditionally, silver does track gold. James Kerr says gold. How many ounces are you going to buy at $5,000 an ounce? And by the way, now is clearly not the time to buy.
That's what they said when it was at 4.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't buy.
That's what they said when it doubled in the early 80s and went from what was gold back then? Like under $100 and it went to 400 real quick.
I'm waiting for when it all goes bad and we're over at your house because you still have your yeast-infested bread starter kit in your fridge that you got from your grandmom from Russia. How much
Good sourdough, man.
How
Don't
much
knock it till
gold are
try
you
it.
going to take for a loaf of that bread? You're like, dude, I'm hungry. You can't have my bread. Can't have it.
Waiting for salt to become the currency of the world again.
If it was, we'd all be wealthy. What about sand? Wouldn't that be great? Yeah.
It's just crazy.
James Kerr says he's holding his gold. What was that? It's also about Hall of Fame. It's never bad to pass up anything about Hall of Fame. On this day in 1936, January the 29th, the U.S. Baseball Hall of Fame elected its first class to Cooperstown. Usually those are pretty good players.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ty Cobb, Babe Ruth, Honus Wagner, Christy Mathewson, and Walter Johnson.
Ty Cobb was hated by everybody in baseball back then, but still garnered the Hall of Fame. How do you leave Bill Belichick out of the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
That
the
is
guy's the most
unbelievable
Super
to
Bowl
me.
winning coach ever. He's got, 6 Lombardi trophies. And the only reason I can think, he wasn't a media darling.
And he wasn't great when Tom Brady left. They're trying to, in a team sport, they're trying to minimize his impact by saying, well, without Tom Brady, he didn't play so good. That's the First State Bank moments of sports minutia. First State Bank of Louise, the friendliest little bank anywhere. If you can get in there in no time at all, number one, free checking, free savings. Get in there and get set up and you get a free gift for opening an account, and they will know you by name. We'll get to that. That is worth noting. I'm wearing my Jags hat. But I do think it's very important. I want you to understand that if it's just his first time on the ballot, maybe they're saying coaches aren't really what the Hall of Fame is all about. I don't understand.
They put builders in.
Bill Belichick won 7? Went to 11 Super Bowls? I mean, how are you telling me that is not a Hall of Fame coach? What are we waiting for? Don Nicole points out in the Sports Minute, Framber Valdez does not have a team yet. Would you want him back? I think he's a ne'er-do-well. I think he's upset.
Yeah.
I don't want him back, although he was 3 seasons ago, he was the number 1 ground ball outgetter in all of baseball, outgetter being a formal term. Will LaRue points out, on another note, how about those Texas A&M Victoria boys coming back for the win in their home opener last night?
Down 3-0 after the top of the first, 3-1 after 1. I think they were down 6-1 after 2, and then the
I was sitting next to the athletic director at A&M Victoria who said, you know what? I don't ever get too excited when we're way up, and I don't ever get too upset when we're way down because baseball is played for a long time. Sure enough, Jags come back. They take the lead at 8-7, and then when did they win?
13-8.
13-8. Jags. It went from baseball into a women's slow pitch softball game, and the Jags win 13-8.
Actually, surprisingly, women's slow. You said slow pitch.
Yeah, clearly not.
Fast pitch typically is lower scoring.
Clearly not a pitcher's duel.
No, but both teams were throwing many pitchers on the night, just trying to see what they had, get them all work before the weekend. Because both Jags teams home this weekend. Baseball taking on Wiley College. Softball will play Concordia
Are they the Coyotes?
On Saturday.
If they're not the Coyotes, what a wasted opportunity.
No, I think they're the Wildcats. Believe it or not.
Is that not dumb? They're from Wiley.
Yeah.
The Wiley Coyotes. That's who they should
University.
be.
They should have been.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you be the Wiley Coyotes?
Well, because they were probably the Wildcats long before they were the Bugs Bunny came along.
Stupid.
But they could have changed.
Did y'all talk about the Sports Advocate? Because they put an article out about that this morning.
Mike was there last night. I talked.
SportsAdvocate.com. Go in today. Look, you're not going to get this in what's left of our local paper. I will always revel in the fact that I told their then plagiaristic editor, Chris Colber, I will be here long after you're gone. And here I am. That was before the radio show even happened. I told him, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. Nobody wants your product. He didn't allow people to come in on it. First of all, they started charging you to read their garbage, which was always 2 or 3 days late. And then if you commented on it and you were ever against or pointed out the inaccuracies in their article, then they blocked you.
Yeah.
And that's just not what a newspaper is supposed to be. And that's not what this program is. We support your right to put your stupidity in our comments. And some of you do.
I think I've removed one comment.
It was
and
inappropriate.
it was inappropriate, and that was it. I've not blocked anybody.
No, we don't block anybody. We've been asked to block people, and some people wear that as a badge of honor. But, if nobody likes you, so it's time to look in the mirror. I just don't do anything simply to make people like me. I'm like Scotch. I'm an acquired. I am well attired, but I am an acquired taste. You have to learn to understand what's below.
As of yesterday, still about 12,000 customers in East Texas without power following the winter storm. So it's been chilly, not going to lie.
Dallas ISD and several other North Texas school districts canceled classes. It was just really cold for a long period of time, and those things happen.
A man in Sanger rescued after falling into a pond where he was ice fishing.
He's an idiot.
He is an idiot.
If you can see the water underneath the ice, don't walk.
There's no way in hell anywhere in Texas ice forms thick enough to go stand on it, let alone cut a hole in it and try to fish. If you can't wait for 3 days for the thaw to go back out fishing in that pond, you're an idiot.
Yeah. Come on. If you're in Sanger and you just say you want to go ice fishing
just to say you did it,
then you're an idiot. Yeah. There you go. See, we can sum up so many things. It's only an hour program. Sometimes idiot is just the right catch-all phrase.
How about this one down in Corpus? Volunteers were using drones to locate at least 70 sea turtles that were stunned by the cold. They all took them to the Texas State Aquarium to warm up and recover, and they'll be safe.
Yeah,
cool.
I'll tell you something I'm not a fan of, because I love to fish, and I love to wing shoot. I love to bird hunt. I tell people if I only had one option, I would choose fishing, because every time you throw a lure, you got a chance. If there's no birds flying, you've got no chance. If no deer come to your feeder, you don't have a chance. But if there's a pond next to that feeder and you know there's fish in it, every time you throw a hook, you've got a chance. I don't like the idea, and we're seeing a lot of it. People are flying drones over the shallow water to identify where the fish are. I'm not sure that's fair. It's certainly not sporting.
No, but you know what? If you're doing that for your survival, good on you.
Yeah.
If you've got but then again, if you really, truly need to fish for your survival in this day and age and you can afford a drone,
there you have you're not spending your money wisely.
No, not at all.
A lot of wing chopping block for that drone.
Corpus Christi Friday, Fox 4 down there reporting this, that 2 police officers down there were shot, third injured. They were shooting it out with a homicide suspect.
Unfortunately, no unhinged liberal female walked into the crossfire.
No, adult male
problems.
Police were called to Ayers Street, where an adult male was found with multiple gunshot wounds, where he was taken to a local hospital and died.
That's just right off the crosstown, right there by South Padre Island Drive.
Officers attempted a traffic stop and arrest when the 38-year-old suspect pulled out a handgun and began shooting.
Shoot him.
They did. Apparently, he's in the hospital.
2 officers were struck by gunfire. 1 remains in critical condition, while the second is listed as stable.
The third officer was treated for shrapnel injuries. The 36-year-old officer was shot in the head.
That guy should never make it to the jail. Due process is swift removal of that human being.
Andrew Alvarez says flying drones to locate fish is now illegal.
Good. But that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Went services for all your generator needs. Turnkey generator service. That means from burying the conduit to making the required licensed connection to your home, to making the plumbing licensed connection to your fuel source, whether that be diesel or propane or butane or whatever, gasoline. Went services for all your generator needs. Chesnick Furniture, Chesnick and Love make your house a home. Get in today and see why you just always do better at Chesnick. American-made furniture and others, but appliances, bedding.
You like a sofa and love seat, or you like a sectional, but they don't have it quite in the color or the
They can
fabric you
order it.
want. They'll get it done in all sorts of shades and all sorts of colors. Great
In
deals
no
going on now. They've
time.
got some nice pieces that are half off.
Don't forget Brand Us. Commander Cody's sitting right over here. Cold.
Fingers are flying.
He's a huddled mass
Look at
all
him.
by himself.
Show the Cody cam and see how hard he's working right now.
Right? He's a
Oh, we don't have the Cody
Doing
cam on.
nothing.
Can you get up a turn on the Cody cam?
We don't need the Cody cam. We're almost out of time.
You're almost out of time. You don't have time to see all this today.
Okay. He's a hot
Those
mess.
fingers are smoke. They're just flying so fast. There's smoke coming off that
I like
keyboard.
it when he comes in the mornings and the climb up the stairs might cause a little perspiration, and he has that steam coming off his on a steel gray Pittsburgh morning. He has that look, the four horsemen.
Kind of looks like Mike Webster.
Yeah, a lot like an old NFL guard.
It's because it's cold up here.
Right, it is, but it's beautiful here.
Yep.
The
Come to the office
suites,
at 205.
the
There's
office is
room
at
for you.
205.
And
There is room
it's
for you.
just this office. The rest of them are warm.
No,
I
that's
don't-
true. It's true. And well, we turned the fan off this morning, but the beautiful high ceilings, the acoustics are great. It's a great place for you to bark orders. If you are in charge of your business, this is a great place for you to be. Is there
Well,
anybody underneath there that I should be
I don't
touting?
I think we've got them all.
Yeah, we did a great job again this morning. Hard to top yesterday's show.
No, it was.
Special thanks. Got mucho feedback, by the way, and thank you for those of you reaching out.
I'm gonna point out a little bit that CNN leaves off. More than 1 million fewer people have enrolled in Obamacare for 2026. The drop comes after enhanced federal subsidies expired, leaving many Americans struggling with soaring monthly payments.
They were struggling anyway. Obamacare just did not
No,
deliver
they're gonna-
upon its promise.
They're blaming the government for this. Somehow the left will blame the government for this and the subsidies. The problem is Obamacare itself. So yeah, the government's at fault here. But the prices didn't all of a sudden raise or rise. The prices were artificially controlled and kept lower because of the subsidies from the federal government. Prices have been where they were. You just paid less because the government was helping you out.
The government now going down because we were helping you out. By the way, healthcare, all the rage, 45 days ago? We're not going to carry on with the government. We're going to shut it down unless Republicans permanently fix healthcare. That's not the issue of the month now. The issue of the month now is Chuck Schumer saying, we've got to reinvent and review ICE.
Kristi Noem needs to go.
Yeah, what they're not going to like, you heard it here first. You heard it here first. No one else is even muttering this. What you're not going to like is when Kristi Noem resigns and the president appoints Tom Homan to be director of Homeland Security. Think about that.
Here, you know what's interesting about that? The left loved him when he worked for Obama. This is a guy that has worked for multiple administrations and proves he can because he does the job.
Yes.
How could Democrats not confirm him as the Secretary of Homeland Security?
They've got to, right?
Yeah.
He's the guy. What gets
Because
me,
he's not just Trump's guy. He was Obama's guy. He's the guy that gets the job done.
at any rate, the laws haven't changed. Obama, Trump, Biden, and now Obama have all used the same laws referencing illegal aliens, many of which were defined even more fully during the Obama administration. The only thing that's changed is that the unhinged progressive left is now protesting. The violence that's being perpetrated on protesters, to me, is inconsequential. It's something they did to themselves. I'm not worried about it. So we will see what happens.
Yeah. Folks, we're out of time.
Hey, we wish you nothing but the best on a post-Caldo Wednesday, Thursday. Get in today. Support Para Vida, the
Yep.
Vita Cafe.
The health challenge is going on now to help you lose weight. live a better, healthier lifestyle.
Just get healthier, and the
Yeah.
weight loss will take care of itself. When you eat right, you feel right. When you feel right, you move more. When you move more,
You're healthier.
you preserve your longevity. Being ambulatory is the most important thing you can be. We were made to move. God did not create the Barcalounger. Have a great day,
He
folks.
created the sloth, and we are not sloths.
Oh, bother. Bye, folks.